Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you. So today we are getting into part 3 of my steroid and PED Q&A, but first and foremost I have to reiterate that I am not a doctor, so anything that I say in these videos is for your entertainment purposes only. I'm not advising nor condoning you to use any of the things that we discuss whatsoever, and what you do with this information is completely and utterly up to you. So let's jump right into it. Starting from the top, this is a really good question, by the way. Why does Anadrol cause estrogenic side effects if it doesn't convert to estrogen? Now, this is a mystery, okay? So what I'm telling you here is all theory-based. There is no hard factual evidence that confirms what actually causes this. There's just a few ideas, all right? Because as we know, or most of us know, Anadrol does not convert to estrogen. It is a DHT derivative, yet it's carrying estrogenic side effects, all right? Now, there's some speculation that Anadrol may act as a progestin that causes these side effects, but it's also shown in studies that Anadrol doesn't have any progestogenic side effects. The most likely, although yet unconfirmed explanation, would be that Anadrol may possibly interact with the estrogen receptor directly, or that possibly, a metabolite of Anadrol could do this as well. Now, people say, well, what do I do here? Because guess what? Aromatase inhibitors don't work with Anadrol. So Aromacin, Arimidex, they're not going to do anything. All right? Now, you could use a serum like Nolvadex, which could mitigate gynecomastia, but it's not going to solve the water retention problem or the blood pressure issue or things like that. Nolvadex is an estrogen blocker, far different than an aromatase inhibitor. So it could possibly suppress some estrogen, but it's not going to do anything in terms of killing off the estrogen. One thing that I've seen people constantly go back to over and over that worked for them was raloxifene. I don't know why. Nobody really knows why, but for whatever the case may be, that's been the one thing that people have gone to that's helped them. Other people just try to go natural and use something like DIM with dandelion root and things like that. That can help to an extent, but let's face it, that's not going to solve it. The problem is it being such an anomaly and people not really knowing, nobody knowing what causes it, you're kind of at the mercy of it. I guess, if you're going to try something, go with maybe a combination of raloxifene and Nolvadex or just raloxifene on its own. I'm not a fan of using raloxifene as an AI, Nolvadex as an AI or on cycle, etc., but you can try it with raloxifene and see how that goes. Question number 2. Why do you say to not use Tren on a first cycle? I get tired of people that try to justify using Tren on a first cycle. It's not rocket science. It's not difficult. I'm sorry if I sound a little aggravated or irritated here. I'm a little under the weather, and this question just aggravates me. Why on the planet Earth would anybody in the right state of mind think that you would take one of the harshest steroids that you can run, and as your first time running a cycle, that's what you go with? I don't care if the dose is lower. I don't care, if you're getting blood work done, etc. That's stuff you're supposed to do. That doesn't change the fact of what you're using. You don't introduce your body for the first time to steroids picking the harshest compound out there. I just don't understand when people try to argue how that's not common sense. Tren should be used by advanced users that have advanced their way through other steroids and have got their body accustomed to it and seen how it responds, etc. You don't jump. It's like when you learn to swim. Do you start swimming in 10-foot water, or do you swim in 2-foot water and work your way out? When you start playing basketball, you don't start shooting three-pointers. You learn how to shoot and work your way out. It's just like anything else. I'm sorry, it's just so frustrating to me. Maybe I shouldn't even put this one in there, but I think that I need to stress it more and more to people that try to justify it being okay, because it's not okay. It's not. And I want to teach new guys that it's not okay. And I guess the thing that bothers me the most is that that's not common sense, and that's scary to me. Number 3, and I like this question, what's a good alternative to dbol or Anadrol that will add size without all the water retention? So, if we're talking about orals, I'm definitely going directly to T-bol. I know T-bol is called D-bol's baby brother or little sister at times. T-bol is great. Very, very little to none when it comes to water retention. You're not going to get 20 pounds on T-bol, but you could feasibly no issue if you dialed in with diet, etc. There's no reason you couldn't get 7 to 10 pounds with it in 6 weeks. It's definitely possible. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but T-ball, if you're going orals, I'm going with T-ball. If you're going injectables, I'm going straight to equipoise. I've covered equipoise a ton. You guys know that. Definitely has the capability of 7 to 10 pounds. The estrogenic activity is little to none. And it's just absolutely perfect for that scenario. Now, you could go NPP or Deca here. Look, Deca and NPP are very dry if ran properly. The people that complain about water retention and issues are abusing it and misusing it. That's just fact. They're running it too high. They're running way too much test with it. They're not having the proper ancillaries, not controlling side effects. So Deca can definitely go on that list absolutely as well. You just got to know how to use it. And if you respect it and use it properly, it's very, very dry. Okay. Which is a better finisher to a cycle? Winstrol, Anavar, or Halotest? Well, I'm always going to go with Winstrol here. All three of these are good finishers. Even though you guys know I don't like Anavar, it's still I'm always going to be fair. Anavar of the three is the weakest. Halotestin, though, is the one that probably will get you the hardest of any of them, but Halotestin also carries so many side effects. It's so toxic, and not only that, but the aggression issues and all the other issues that come with it don't really make it very desirable. And for me, unless you're going into a competition or an extremely experienced user, I don't see the need to ever use Halotestin. Winstrol is the one that, to me, it's the strongest. Well, between that and Anavar, I guess. It's not stronger than Halotestin on paper, but you're not going to gain a stitch of size with Halotestin. Winstrol, you're going to be able to still add more lean muscle than any of the three, and for me, be more vascular and more hard. Everybody's different on how they react. And Anavar is a lot lighter, and if you can't handle the Winstrol side effects, then Anavar is the better choice. But if you can handle Winstrol, it's by far the best choice. I mean, you can find veins that you didn't even know existed with Winstrol. And for getting ready for a contest and prep, man, Winstrol is just amazing. But it's person-to-person specific. This is where I believe in what my preference would be. And then, last question. What's the highest dose of Deca you recommend? I've covered this quite a bit. I always say the highest dose, 400 milligrams. You can run it higher. You can still get more and more out of it, but you're also going to experience more side effects. So what's the good in it? What's the good in it for some instant gratification if there's no long-term, retention there? My preference is to stay as dry as possible, to keep the side effects as minimal, get the most out of it with the least side effects, and that's 400 milligrams is the sweet spot for it. Once you start getting over that, that's where problems start to occur. And when problems start to occur, there's a lot less likelihood of keeping all the things that you gained and all the hard work that you put into it. So I'd rather make a little less and keep a lot more long-term and deal with a lot less side effects. But hey, that's just me. Some people don't care about that. I just teach that way, and I particularly care a lot more about keeping side effects low and keeping retention at the highest level possible. So that being said, www.icearms.com/forums. I'm also on the evolutionary forum as well as the elite fitness forum. You can also email me, dylan@icearms.com, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.